What's happening, people? Hey, come on in, come on down. I see some folks are already interested. They were concerned that I wasn't going live because it was 8:36, but I am live. So come on in, everybody. Love to see you tonight. Jump on in if you can. Hit a share button, a like button, and encourage others to come on in as well. I will not be on long at all, but I just wanted to share this power principle with you tonight. And so this is a joy for me to do, and hopefully you'll feel the same way when I am done. So come on in, everybody. Excellent. Let's see what's happening here. Excellent. Good evening to you too, JDPC. Come on in, everybody. Good to have you. Some folks are on YouTube already. I see people coming in on Facebook, my business page. Come on in, everybody. It has been a while. It has been quite a while since I've been on, and apologize about that. But I am back and in it to win it. So come on in. Good to have you tonight. Now, as you're coming in, if you have been on any of my Power Principle broadcasts, I want you to say, I've been there. Just type in, I've been there, if that's you. If you've ever been on any of the Power Principle broadcasts. Good, excellent. Excellent. Good to have you in tonight. I know some people have their midweek service, actually, and so I recognize that, or your small groups, but I thought I'd jump on tonight for a few minutes, so come on in. The topic tonight is going to be on the power of self-talk. Self-talk. And I've learned some very powerful things, some things through pain, actually, but other things I've kind of picked up as I've gone and went along. And I really realized there's so much power in it. And so I want to share this truth with you, this nugget with you. And I believe it'll be helpful to you. Now, yes, I'm on YouTube right now, broadcasting live on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn page, Twitter accounts, my personal Facebook page, my business Facebook page, right? So you can find me if you want to find me, right? So I'm out here. Excellent. Good to have you on tonight. Thank you for sharing that, Donna. Appreciate that very much. All right, let's get down to business. All right, so just by way of recap, power principles are collections of dynamic phrases of practical wisdom that, when applied, empower us to accomplish our goals, dreams, and aspirations. Now, just having knowledge, just having a Facebook post, just putting a banner up, just regurgitating a phrase is not the same as applying the principle that's being taught, right? So I want us to kind of recognize that. But these principles are things that are foundational to success in any area of a person's life, actually. So you want to pay attention to things that are principles. They can be applied to anybody, anywhere, at any time. They are not gender specific. They are not tied to ethnicity or race. They're not tied to geography. They're not tied to one's particular faith. But these principles are valuable and helpful to anyone and everyone who's willing to engage them. So tonight's principle is going to be Power Principle 19, and it's the principle of self-talk. How many of you who are watching found yourself at different times in your life speaking to yourself? Let's start there. Speaking to yourself. That's you. I want you to raise a hand, type in the chat, me. I've done that. Maybe you're doing that right now, but you talk to yourself. You talk to yourself. right? And that goes for really all of us. There's a tape that plays in our head. If we're not careful, it will just do what it wants to do, and we'll miss it, right? But you just kind of talk to yourself. Now, but here's the real question: is what are you saying to yourself? What are you actually saying to yourself is the real question, because what you're saying to yourself affects you, right? What I say to myself about myself affects me negatively or positively. It affects me. And what I have found is that depending on what I'm going through emotionally, how I'm feeling, that many times impacts what I'm going to say to myself. Right? So if I'm in a difficult season in my life where things don't seem to be working out, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's always raining in my life. There's always an issue going on. I may speak to myself like that, man. Nothing ever goes right for you. If I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. Right? All of these things. Right? So somebody type in one or two things that you say to yourself on the negative. You may not say them anymore, but type in something that you've said to yourself about yourself that's negative. Type that in the chat if you can, right? Because here's the issue. Again, I'm being transparent here, that if I'm not careful, my tendency is to be negative. My tendency is to see things, see the glass half empty rather than almost full, right? That's my tendency. If I'm watching the news, for instance, I'm expecting bad news, right? If I go to my mailbox, I'm expecting bad news, right? If the phone rings, I'm expecting bad news, right? All of those issues, right? So one person types in that I'm not enough, right? I mean, I'm too dark. My teeth are too crooked. I'm not tall enough. I'm not enough, right? Um, I'm not smart enough. I'll never catch up. All these things, right? If we're really, honest. Now we can put the face on, we can play the game, but you and I are living out not the image that we are giving other individuals, but in reality, we're living out what we're actually saying to ourselves about ourselves. It's a heavy concept when you think about it. What I'm saying to myself about myself really has a major, major, major impact on how I feel, how I perceive things, what I look at, right? All of those things are super critical. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I can't even say I've studied psychology. I've had a course or two, but I'm not a psychologist in any shape, form, or fashion. But I've learned this concept. It speaks of a reticular activating system, RAS. And somehow in our brain works this way, that what I think about, what I speak about, is what eventually I see. So, for instance, if I said to you, find something yellow, your brain will scan the room to find something yellow. Are you following me? Right? If you all of a sudden you say you want a pink car, right? Guess what? You're going to see pink cars in the next several days. And it's not that all of a sudden pink cars just showed up. The real issue is that you've started to notice it, right? So what we end up thinking about, what we end up speaking about, has a tendency to be what we end up seeing or focusing on. I think that's really important to know, right? So when we think about the negative things that we say to ourselves, there's really no wonder why we don't really have a whole lot of energy in the morning. It's not a mystery as to why we can't seem to solve the problems that are in front of us. It's really not an enigma as to why it just seems like it's raining all the time in our life. A lot of that has to do with what we actually say to ourselves about ourselves. I realize this. I realize this from the Word of God, um, that there's power in words. There's power in words. But I've realized something, that my body is always listening to me. Did you hear that? My body is always listening to me. Your body is always listening to you. So if you're cursing your body, you're speaking negatively about your body, speaking negatively about your situation. I can't do this. I'm too dumb. I can't solve these math problems. I'm never going to learn. Guess what happens? Your body says, hey, guess what? We're too dumb. Guess what? We can't solve this. Guess what? There's no hope for us. We might as well not even try, right? So the body begins to kind of just give up, right? The energy level drops. But what happens if you wake up every day, going throughout the day, speaking the right things over your life, speaking the right things into your atmosphere, telling your body about where it's going to go and what it's going to do? And guess what happens? All of a sudden, there's an energy level that kind of picks up. Certain things start to happen. Why? Because my body is engaged in following what my mouth has been saying the whole time. Well, then someone says, well, aren't you lying to yourself? No, I'm not. I'm speaking about what I want, not what I got. How many of you have ever had a dog and a cat at the same time? A dog and a cat, or even two dogs. This example will work in that way as well. You got one dog inside and one dog's outside. Let's say the dog inside is named Fido, and the dog outside is named Cujo. Fido's inside, Cujo's outside. Fido's inside, Cujo's outside. Now you want Cujo to come inside. Who do you call for? Do you call for Fido? Fido's inside already. Fido is inside. Cujo, right? I'm not lying. I'm saying Cujo, come inside. Cujo, come inside. Cujo, come inside. So in other words, you want to call for what you want in life, not what you got. It's pointless and useless to keep talking about all the negative that might be happening in your life, rather than speaking about the positive things you want to see manifest in your life. And that goes super important in terms of you talking to yourself about yourself. It would not hurt you in the least to wake up and tell yourself you're absolutely gorgeous. It would not hurt you at all to say, I'm brilliant and I'm full of wisdom. It would not mess up your day in the least for you to get up and say, this is going to be a great day, regardless of the rain, regardless of how you're feeling, regardless of what's on the schedule. That's irrelevant in that sense. The most important thing is you talk to yourself right. But I have a sneaking suspicion that many of you are like the rest of us, that if we're not careful, we will speak negative things when we should be speaking positive things. Oh, I'm not saying we don't deal with the reality or the facts of the matter. The fact is, going back to my analogy about the two dogs, the fact is Fido is in the house. I'm not denying that Fido's in the house. I'm just not interested in Fido being in the house. I want Cujo to come into the house, right? Years ago, I was taking Taekwondo, Korean Taekwondo. I guess Taekwondo is Korean, but it was a truly Korean foundation based Taekwondo. And this dojang I would go to, Master Park was the leader there. At the time, it was a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo. And so when I would come for my lesson, um, he would ask me, "How are you, sir?" And my response would be, "I'm doing pretty good today. How are you?" And he would correct me. He would say, "Your only response to me is excellent. I'm excellent." And if you know me personally, you know that often when the person will ask me or text me, "How you doing?" I'll start with by saying excellent, right? And then if more details necessary, I can go into what's going on in my day. But the fact of the matter is, I start my day that way. I wake up that way. I go to bed that way. I speak that way. Why? Because I want to direct my body. I want to direct my energy. I want to direct my mind. I want to direct everything around me toward positive, toward the things I want to come and manifest in my life versus the things that are happening in my life. Can somebody say amen to that? So quite honestly and quite frankly, you gotta get your mouth right. You gotta get your mouth right. Sometimes people don't like to do that. Why? Because they find if they do that, other people are going to um, how would you say? They're going to not give them the sympathy that they really want, right? They're not going to get the sympathy they want. So if I tell people I'm excellent, then they're not going to help me. They're not. No, that's not the case. I have found that people want to help individuals who are really on the positive, trying to do something, versus people that are simply saying, "There's no hope for me. There's no hope for me." Right. So you need to make a covenant with your mouth and say, "I'm going to start speaking better things to myself about myself." You want to decide, and you should decide tonight. Matter of fact, you should decide right now. You're going to be kinder to yourself, regardless of what other people are saying about you, what other realities might be going on. Speak over yourself proper things. Speak the identity that God has placed in your life. Speak your destiny, not your disasters. Can I say that again? Speak your destiny, not your disaster, right? Speak about your dreams, not about your drama. I think I'm going to type that in myself. Speak about dreams, not about, let's see, about drama. It's an important element. Would you agree on that? So, this has been helpful to you tonight. I really want you to set your notifications so that when I come on, that we can kind of share some thoughts with you and talk about those things. So, I hope this has been helpful to you today. But before you sign off, I want you to type in one great thing about yourself. It's an I am statement. I am thus and so. I am this. I am that. Just type it in. I dare you. I dare you to type it in. Type it. Just type it in. Type it in. Right. I like that. JDPC. I don't know who you are, but I'm feeling you on that. I am enough. You may be able to, I mean, you can even step it up a little bit. I am more than enough. How about that? Tawana, let me tweak that for you just a little bit. You're as strong as you think you are, actually. So I would type in, I am stronger than I realized. ED. I'm stronger than I realized. And that's a fact, daughter. That's a fact. Right? Start speaking the right things over your life. Are you be surprised be surprised. With changes you make. If we'll do that. Okay. I think um, buffering a little bit here. So, so I'm going to say goodnight, Mr. Arverse, all natural, Caldwell Jr. But the reality is, he's teaching. All right, everyone. Thank you.